Hi everybody, today we're going to go over, we just had a funny joke, I'm sorry. Today we're going to go over how to make suppositories that you can use rectal or vaginal. And what happens here is that when you have coconut oil, a lot of times people see it in a solid, and what that means is that if it's the temperature of like 74 and below, it can be in a solid state. If it's even colder, it can be like frozen, you gotta chop it with a knife, it can be very hard. When it's above 74, it can start to get to the melting point where it becomes a clear liquid. So when you have coconut oil, I just put it either like in a little metal, what do you call it, measuring cup, or like a little glass bowl like this. I will turn on the stove just for a second, put it here like this. Just have it heat up the container just for a minute. It will start melting very quickly, and then I actually just turn it off, and because of the heat from the glass, it will start melting the rest of the coconut oil, because you really don't want to heat up the coconut oil too high, because when you're putting oils or Protect in the suppository for obvious reasons or reasons you can look up, then you don't want the oils to be overheated. Okay, there's a couple different ways that you can do this. One is this is back in the day kind of stuff, is if you have a syringe, you can insert it, whether it's one of these plastic disposable ones or a metal one with your mixture inside, and you can use a carrier oil like olive oil, coconut oil, V6, whatever it is that you're going to use, and pull up the ingredients. This is a little bit difficult, and you always need someone to help with this one, because someone would have to have their bottom up in the air, and you would insert this and then release or press in the ingredients, and then they would go to bed. Obviously, you don't really want to walk around with this stuff because things can happen. So usually people do this retention rectal when it's going to be bedtime. Okay, so this is one of the methods that you can use, but everyone's not too fond of this one. There's another one that you may be able to do yourself, and this is a supply that you could get from Abundant Health for You. And once again, you pull up the mixture like this, and then you can insert it rectally. This is a disposable one. Okay, so this is another method in which you can use. Some things that you have in your home if you need emergency situations and you don't have these things, is a wooden spoon or a straw, like the kind that's a little bit thicker that you'd use for like smoothies. And then something that's available on my website, it's livinganointed.com, and that is disposable suppository molds. You do not insert this mold. You do open it from this end, and the suppository will come out. It's just what people would normally think and see when you think about a suppository. It works out very well for some people. So I'm going to show you the different ways. I already have some coconut oil melted right here, but I'll just show you real quick that this is already melting very well just from having the stove on for a couple seconds. And then we'll keep going. Okay, let me show you this one first. I don't usually use this, but just for demonstration, obviously everyone doesn't have one of these at home, but hold it up, you could use this. I usually just hold it in my hand and move it along, but just for the sake of, you could have someone help you. So if this was the one right here, you go like this and you just pour some in, you sort of watch where you're going, oops, too much. And then slide over to the next one, pour some more in. Okay, and so forth. If it runs a little bit, you can have it go into the next one. The reason why it works great when you have someone helping you, or a funnel that actually fits inside the hole, for obvious reasons, because you don't want to waste the oils. And you just can slide your finger along here, the rest of it will go in there, then wipe it off. So it's going to look like this, but we will be putting this in the freezer so you can see the end results of all of these and how they work, okay? So this is a disposable suppository mold. I'm going to put that over here. And this one is a little bit more, I don't even have saran wrap, so I just had to cut this plastic off my apple bag, but whatever. So usually you should have enough of a piece that you'd fold this up around here like this, but I don't, because of how much I could cut off that didn't have holes in it. So let me just, probably going to do it this way. I'm going to, let me see. I'm going to go like this and sort of roll it tightly around it. And then if you fold this piece over, obviously, because otherwise the oil is going to come through, And then we do have a big piece of foil, because obviously this is gonna come right off very quickly. You just get the foil and you're basically just making a mold around it so it stays stabilized. What do you call it? Almost looks like a pretty flower of the stick right here. So you can pull this out. You can see the plastic inside there. So I would definitely put this inside here. As I said, you're going to see what this is going to look like later. Okay, so, wow, doesn't take very much to fill it up, that's for sure. Well, that's going to be hard to get in somewhere, so let me pour some of this back. Okay, so right now I'm just going to stick this in a cup to help keep it vertical until we put it in the freezer. The other way with the straw, once again, it has to be a little bit of a fatter straw. You're just going to bend it over and get a stapler that happens to be empty. How outrageous is that? I just used this a second ago, and apparently I used the last staple. Okay, hold on. Let me pause it for a second. Okay, we're back. We just moved into this house not too long ago, and guess what? I don't know where any more staples are. So I'm gonna get a piece of tape and tape this so it's can't leak through, I hope. All right, so the next thing is you're gonna put the straw right here, or the funnel right here again. And pour this in. You can sort of see where it's at. Okay, so right now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go put this in the freezer, and then we'll come back and show you the rest of it, okay? Okay, while we're waiting for the stuff to come out of the freezer, it usually takes like 10 minutes. I thought I'd tell you sort of a funny joke. I think it's funny. I hope you do as well. Before we learned about disposable suppositories, and before I saw this great video that someone did about how to make them with the wooden spoon, the saran wrap, and the foil, what I knew about is how people would use them with the eyedropper, okay? And I had these folks at my house, and they were trying to figure out how to do this, and it was like the funniest thing ever, because apparently I keep a straight face. So I said, this is what you have to do. She didn't want to help insert it into her husband's rectum, nor did he want her to help. So I said, well, there's only one other option. They said, we'll take it. And I said, okay. So what you do is you get a straw. You know how when you put a straw in somewhere and you put your finger on top and the oil or water, whatever it is, comes up so far. So I said, what you have to do is go like this, insert it into the rectum, and then blow in. Oh my Lord, you should have seen the look on their face. I said, the only thing you want to make sure you don't do is actually suck back in or cough or something, because obviously then that's going to go in your mouth. I know I'm not going to laugh at my own joke because that would be weird, but it's really funny. And if you have someone who's non-compliant, always give them the worst option possible, and then all of a sudden they'll love the one that you're offering them. Okay, so we'll check the freezer. Okay, so here we are. The frozen suppositories look like this. You do want to cut them out of there's like a little perforated lines right here you want to cut out. And then what you would do is, most people try to pull from this end, and believe me, you'll never get it. And so you go from this end right here, you have to open it up, and it peels right out like this. And then you have a nice little suppository mold, just like you would purchase somewhere. I put them in a little baggie like this, and then you just keep them in the freezer, and then you're ready to go. People often stop by and say, hey, do you have any suppositories? I'm like, hey, I happen to. So this works out great. Just for time, I'm gonna put these aside right now. Then with this one, we'll see together how this one works. Let me see. Be a surprise for both of us. Okay. It's like Christmas. So, let's see. Perfect, pretty much. A lot of oil really wasted in here, so you have to rub this on your body later. But whether you have a knife or little scissors, and you could just go like this and cut little chunks that you would use for what you're trying to use it for, okay? And I'll put these in here for later. Now for the straw. So don't waste this good stuff, okay? For the straw, this one is a little bit more different where you're sort of, okay, my hands are already greasy. Okay, so you're gonna squeeze up from the bottom. It's gonna come out like that. And once again, you can get a knife and cut it, or go like this and cut little chunks. And then once again, you just put it in a bag and you put it in the freezer. And then you're all ready to go with suppositories for whenever you need. Okay, I hope this helps out so much. Once again, if you'd like to buy a mold, like I just showed you that's in here, you can go to livinganointed.com and you'll to the e-store and you'll find that. Otherwise, as we said, there's so many different ways you can use and make suppositories. And I hope this helped you out. Thank you so much. This is Stacey Kimbrell, and have a great day.